All right, let's talk about one of the most common and, let's be honest, sometimes one of the trickiest questions you'll ever get. Tell me about yourself. It sounds so simple, but it can really make you nervous. But don't worry, by the end of this, you're going to have a super simple and confident way to answer it every single time.
You've been there, right? It just hangs in the air. Whether you're in a new class, at a party, or maybe even in a big job interview, and suddenly your mind just goes completely blank. What do they actually want to know? How much is too much? Where do you even start?
So, the very first thing we need to do is kind of flip how we think about this question. It's not some big test you can pass or fail, and it's definitely not a demand for your entire life story. It's actually something way simpler and a lot friendlier. And this is the key. This is the big mindset shift. Just think of it like an open door to a conversation. Someone is showing they're interested in you, and this is your chance to connect with them by just sharing a few things about who you are.
Okay, so here's our game plan for building a great answer, step by step. We're going to start with the absolute essentials. Then we'll add some personality, talk about what you love, and finally, we'll put it all together into a really simple, easy to remember formula.
First things first, we gotta have a solid foundation, right? These are the non-negotiable basics that make up the core of any good introduction. You can think of these as, well, the essential building blocks of your introduction.
And honestly, it's as simple as this to get started. Your name, where you're from, and what you do, for work or as a student. These three little pieces of information immediately give the other person a nice, clear starting point. Let's see how this works with our two examples, Tom and Emily.
So right away, you can see a real contrast here, can't you? Tom's a city guy from Canada living in a small apartment. Meanwhile, Emily is from the US and lives in a quiet town in a house with a garden. Just those simple details already start to paint a picture of two totally different lifestyles. And then, what they do. That's the third essential block. Tom's an English teacher and Emily is an art student. See? With just those three basic pieces of info, we've already got a solid foundation for both of them. All right, so we've got that foundation laid. Now comes the fun part, adding a little bit of personal color. This is what makes your introduction feel more human, more relatable. Sharing a tiny detail about your family is a really great way to connect. And hey, you don't need to give their entire life story, right? Notice how Tom and Emily just share simple facts. Tom's family is in writing and medicine. Emily's parents are a teacher and a chef. It just adds another interesting layer to their story. And then there's pets. This is probably one of the easiest, most fun ways to show your personality. And here we have the classic dog person versus cat person dynamic. Tom has this friendly, funny dog, Max, while Emily has a quiet, sleepy cat named Luna. It's an instant conversation starter. Okay, this is where we really let our personality shine through. Sharing your tastes, your hobbies, this is the best way to show people who you are beyond the basic facts. This is the really fun stuff. I mean, think about your favorites, a favorite food, color, animal, or a hobby. These aren't deep, dark secrets. They're just fun little facts about you that make you more memorable and give people really easy things to ask you about later on. And when you look at Tom and Emily's favorites side by side, you can really start to see how these tiny choices build a bigger picture. His choices feel kind of classic and down to earth, while hers feel more connected to nature and comfort. These small details add a ton of character. And their hobbies just add another layer to that picture. Tom seems a bit more active with soccer and rock music. Emily seems more creative, a little more introspective with her painting and reading. Even their taste in movies adds a little something extra. Now, here's a little trick. It's kinda counterintuitive, but sometimes sharing what you don't like can be just as powerful as sharing what you do like. Why? Because sharing a common, small annoyance makes you instantly human. It's a surprisingly great way to find some common ground. I mean, look at this. Tom doesn't like olives or waiting in long lines. Who does, right? And Emily's not a fan of super spicy food or waking up early. These are such small, human things that make them so much more relatable and maybe even a little funny. All right, we've gathered all of our pieces. We have the essentials, we've added that personal color, and we've talked about what we love. So let's put it all together into a simple, confident, and friendly answer. And the biggest thing to remember here is don't overthink it. This simple little formula is so powerful because it covers who you are, what you do, and then it adds that spark of personality with a like and a dislike. So let's see how it sounds in practice. Here's Tom's answer. It's clear, it's short, it's friendly, it tells you exactly what you need to know, and it immediately gives you a bunch of things to ask them about. Oh, what do you teach? Or what's your favorite kind of pizza? Easy. And here's Emily's. Again, super effective, it's warm, it's personal. And that part about not waking up early, I mean, who can't relate to that? It's the perfect way to start a real conversation.
Okay, and this is probably the most important tip in this entire explainer. You do not have to say everything every single time. The real secret is reading the room. If you're in a class, maybe mention why you're there. If you're at a party, bring up a fun hobby. The goal isn't to give a speech about yourself. It's to open the door for a conversation.
So now it's your turn. Using all these little building blocks and that simple formula, how would you answer? Just remember, it's not a scary question, it's an invitation. So take what you learned, be yourself, and go start some great conversations.